I still remember the first day that I was searching for a BTS song to do as my first reaction. And I kind of whittled it down just by looking at the thumbnails. It was either going to be Blood, Sweat, and Tears or Idol. So knowing nothing about BTS at the time, I just kind of took a random guess and went with Idol. And then I got a lot of comments that were like, Idol is not the song to start with. But I'll tell you what, man, I respected them after that one song. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. Regardless, it has now been 1 year. 1 year since making that decision. And I'm finally listening to Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Okay, so this actually has an explained version, which I'm going to check out after I watch the MV. So I'm going to try to piece everything that I can together, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm just so excited about finally getting to hear this song and seeing this MV that I don't know how many connections I'm actually going to make. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this thing. And then I'm going to let the explanation speak for itself. Tell me what I need to know instead of me trying to, like, you know, do the whole mystery unraveling thing that I've been trying to do with the other ones. But I really just want to hear this song. It has been too damn long. Here we go. Okay. Let's turn this up a little bit. Okay, feeling the pastels. Especially knowing that this is sort of, the idea of this, the concept of this song is meant to be a... Ooh, listen to the orchestra in the background. What is this? Bach? Beethoven? It's one of them, right? But what I was saying is I like the pastels to go with kind of the dour sense of what the storyline has been bringing lately. Oh, I've never seen them look so fancy before. Oh, the vocals already, right off the bat. Ooh, and the dance. Very cool. Alright, I'm so feeling the imagery in this one so far. Oh man. Okay, we're going rap line heavy now. We just went 3 in a row. Oh, that's cool. It's a cool line. A whiskey called you. Yo, I love how they're all getting to do the vocal run too. All the 4 vocalists, they've all had their chance to do the I'm sorry for that. Love it. Wow, more J-Hope. Damn, look at this dance in here too. Wow, look at that scene. Dude, that looks like a Jackson Pollock painting, doesn't it? The background? Damn, that looks sick. Like a moving version of one. Whoa, another J-Hope verse? Dude, this is the most J-Hope I've ever heard before. That's such a cool shot, going upstairs like that. Oh wait, did he have the apple there? And the blindfold also from Lie, right? I think these are both from Lie. Another really sick looking scene there with the black and pink. Wow. Oh, the flashes to the cartoon version? I don't know how they're doing that. It looks crazy. I want to see that happen again. I think it's just like a contrast change, but damn, doesn't it look sick? Alright, so there's some crazy shit going on with Jin here. Ooh, by the way, sorry I keep pausing it, but listen to the background here for a second. There's like an instrument, it might be a guitar. Right there, you hear that? It's only left ear. Okay. Ooh, it's still going. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm starting to piece some stuff together here. We got RM with the smoke, which is, I think it's relating back to I Need You. And we got Jimin with the mask.
He too was a tempter.
Back to Damien.
He too was a link to the second. The evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
Ooh. Chills. Suga with his piano. Call back to First Love. Except it's an organ. And to me, by the way, like, organ kind of represents, like, the more, I don't want to say evil, but, like, the darker side of a piano. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a contrast to the piano. And there's a lot of contrast going on here if you were to look just right at what we're seeing right now. A lot of black and white. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's indicative of anything that's actually happening in the video. I don't know if they're talking about that, but it's just interesting to acknowledge. There's another crazy looking scene. So what's going on with this though? Who is that? I feel like it should be Jin, but Jin's right here. Because Jin's like, you know, awake. And he's been like kind of like the watcher this whole time, the third perspective. It is. Wow, that's creepy looking. I don't know. Okay, I've seen that before too. Damn, dude. The moves in this scene right here in this room, yeah, they're killing it. What's that? Okay, so that video was nuts, and I have a feeling that I didn't understand like 92% of it. Okay, so first and foremost, double Suga and double J-Hope. I'm feeling that. I'm always gonna be feeling that. You know that. So we're just gonna jump right into this explanation because I wanna be able to like understand it before I can truly like know how I feel about it as a whole. By the way, this is done by Don't Worry, I'm Not Afraid.
At its surface, Blood, Sweat, and Tears is a song about the dangers of temptation and, furthermore, the loss of innocence. The music video provides context through symbolic images, which allows these themes to take on deeper meanings. But what does it all mean, you ask? Let's get cultured AF as we take a closer look.
Hell yeah. Oh, hey, and this person read the book. Excellent.
So, it's an understatement to say there's a lot of symbolism packed into these 6 minutes. I know it may just look like every choice was made for the purpose of aesthetics, but I promise you, every single painting, statue, feather, and drop of wax means something. Although there are allusions from multiple sources of literature, each symbol works harmoniously with the next to create a larger system of meaning throughout the video. But let's take this a little at a time. The most useful frame for understanding this video is through the story of Demian by Hermann Hesse.
And this is what RM's been reading in all the
Published
Wings
in
clips.
1919,
And there's the
this
sugar
Bildungsroman
painting.
tells the story of Emil
Done by
Sinclair
JK.
and his journey to find himself. For further context, the ideologies presented in Demian are heavily influenced by the ideas of the German philosopher Nietzsche. Nietzsche often wrote about the creation of the self, or as he puts it, becoming what one is. He claimed that people must craft their own identity through self-realization, and to do so without relying on anything transcending that life, such as God or a soul. He spoke of the death of God, and a future where we would see the dissolution of traditional religion and metaphysics.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again right now. The coolest thing about BTS is how philosophical they get with their lyrics and their videos, and just combining everything together to make it all kind of like feel cohesive.
Nietzsche was, quote, engaged in a positive program to reaffirm life, and so he called for a radical, naturalistic rethinking of the nature of human existence, knowledge, and morality. All of these ideas are central to Demian, as they're what drives Sinclair's journey towards a new understanding of life. Sinclair does not go on this journey of discovery alone, however, for he has many mentors who guide him. His dear friend, Max Demian, is the first and most important mentor. The others include Demian's mother, Frau Eva, and a wise organ player named Pistorius.
Oh, I didn't even see it said that.
Anyways, this motif of mentoring relationships is where I'd like to begin. In the opening of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, we see each of the younger members paired with an older member, their mentor. They are still surrounded by symbols of innocence, not yet having embarked on their journey of self-discovery. Jin, the oldest member, stands alone, admiring the painting, The Fall of the Rebel Angels. He is about to begin his journey. As Jin gazes at this depiction of the battle between good and evil, Bach's Mass in B minor plays in the background. Jin stands perfectly between two doors, one black, one white, one good, one evil. In Demian, Sinclair is constantly being tempted by things that belong to the realm of darkness. He feels trapped in his traditional religious teachings and develops a fierce desire to break free and expand his worldview.
Okay.
In the novel, this is symbolized by the sparrowhawk. Sinclair finds some freedom when Demian introduces him to the idea that the world cannot be categorized into binary categories of good and evil, but rather there is good in all evil and evil in all good. This concept is represented by the god called Abraxas. The deity is neither good nor evil, but rather an affirmation of the existence of both. Furthermore, Abraxas is often depicted breaking out of an egg.
The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world. Who would be born must first destroy a world. The bird flies to God. That God's name is Abraxas.
This quote echoes the Nietzschean idea that we must think radically in order to be born as our true selves. Sinclair can never find himself if he only acknowledges the realm of light. He must seek knowledge and learn of both realms, therefore destroying the world he once knew. The world that contained his innocence, but also prevented him from growing to his full potential. Part of finding oneself is embarking on a quest for knowledge, and part of this comes from embracing both realms, and in turn, embracing temptation. Once we take a bite of the apple, we cannot regain our innocence. We now have not only knowledge, but also sin, and there's no going back.
Oh, the apple. Like the apple from almost like the Adam and Eve apple, right? Like, don't eat this, but you're going to eat it.
The interlude of the music video has a couple of direct connections to Demian that I'd like to discuss. Of course, we have a direct quote that's read by RM, referencing Max Demian as a tempter.
He too was a tempter. He too was a link to the second. The evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
You know, this is a concept that they keep going to also throughout the course of not just the BTS universe storyline, but you could even go all the way up to this year, 2020, and take a look at Black Swan. And they're still kind of pushing on that philosophical idea of good and evil and the wings.
Another connection is the reference to Sinclair's mentor, Pistorius, the philosopher and organ player. Pistorius promises to play Sinclair Passacaglia in D minor. This is precise
Extended Stay America exists
plays in this scene. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about the kiss? What reason could Jin possibly have to kiss a statue?
That is what I'm thinking. I wanted to... Everything about Jin was confusing in this video.
Let me fill you in. Here we have another allusion to the end of the novel. I'll set the scene. Sinclair is wounded in battle, and Demian appears to him. Demian tells Sinclair that if he ever needs help, he need only look inside himself, and he will find that Demian is within him. Demian then kisses him on the lips and disappears. To me, this is the moment the entire music video hinges on. There are multiple layers of meaning to the kiss. Firstly, Jin is put in the role of Demian, giving a kiss to Sinclair. But at this point in the novel, Demian is revealed to be merely a piece of Sinclair himself. And so this is the moment Jin realizes he can now be his own mentor, and he has broken out of the egg. He has achieved creation of the self. The other layer of meaning we must acknowledge here is that Jin is finally embracing the two realms. He is kissing Abraxas, the very embodiment of both good and evil, and so he is shedding his former innocent skin. Throughout the music video, V was shrouded from view under a veil. He was a fallen angel, representing evil and temptation. The moment Jin was able to face him, he destroyed the false world of light he once inhabited, and welcomed chaos unleashed. This is what Lacan would call the real. Jin is unsutured from the symbolic order when he faces the rupture between the symbolic and reality. The symbolic order is the world established by traditional religion. It is the world of light where only good things can be worshipped. Facing the real, or the existence of a dark realm, as well as the chaos and darkness within ourselves, allows for freedom and the creation of self I keep mentioning. According to Nietzsche, this rupture is crucial. In fact, it's Nietzsche's quote we see here, engraved above the mirror. You still have to have chaos inside you in order to be able to give birth to a dancing star. The old version of Jin, existing only in the realm of light, begins to crumble. There's no chaos
I had no idea what was going on with his face there at the
in
end.
him, and so he cannot give birth to the dancing star. What this means, essentially, is we must all suffer this fall from grace and face reality so that we can create our genuine selves. It is only once we're armed with this true sense of self, finally knowing who we are, that we can spread our wings and fly.
You know, it's super interesting, and I've actually had this argument with other Army members, too, on my Twitter specifically, where somebody had pointed out that there was an RM song from, like, back in the day that I should check out on my own but not react to because maybe it was inappropriate and not so much who RM is anymore. But my argument for it, which I still haven't done, but I'm still considering what I want to do about that, but my argument for it is that you can't truly appreciate anybody, specifically like in a musical setting, just by seeing the best that they do. You need to be able to see everything that they do, which means seeing them at the bottom, at their worst, and how they came from their worst up to their best. And that's kind of what BTS is promoting throughout this entire video. You know, the ability to like take the good with the bad, to take the evil with the good, and become an entire entity, not somebody that's scared of part of their personality that other people might not accept, but somebody that embraces all of it fully to become a full human being. And they talked about that a lot in Black Swan too. Part 2, we need to talk about Icarus. Okay.
Like Sinclair,
flew too close
Icarus
to the sun,
too
right?
wants to be free and soar to great heights, but he aims too high, quite literally, and pays the ultimate price for his recklessness. He ignores his father's warnings about flying too close to the sun until it melts the wax that binds his wings and he plummets to his death. You all know the story. Behind the neon lights, we can see The Lament for Icarus by H.J. Draper. The Icarus imagery continues as we see Jungkook levitating, neither falling nor flying, surrounded by little bits of feathers. In Demian, Sinclair tells Pistorius that he's afraid of dreams in which he is able to fly, to which Pistorius replies, "It is the feeling of being linked with the roots of power, but one soon becomes afraid of this feeling. This is why most people shed their wings and prefer to walk and obey the law. But not you. You go on flying. You discover that you gradually begin to master your flight. Lacking that, you would be drawn up to the heights, powerless, which is what happens to madmen." This, of course, is a direct allusion to Icarus. But Sinclair has better control of his wings, as does Jin. At least we hope he does. BTS's music and videos often tell coming-of-age stories, and the Blood, Sweat, and Tears music video is no exception. This is an important fact to remember as we watch their youthful characters struggle and grow. Although the allusions and symbols in their videos may seem daunting at first, it's important to remember that at their core, these are just stories about growing up.
And it is daunting, for sure, but I think that you don't have to watch it the way that I'm watching it. You don't have to watch it the way that she's explaining it. One of the cool things about BTS is if you do want to be a casual fan, if you want to just enjoy the music, you could do that. You don't need to go full force into the symbolism and the metaphors, what it all means, but you can appreciate them just for the sounds, just for the dancing, just for the looks, because man, they can sing, they can dance, and they're beautiful. So you don't really need this part if it's too much for you, if it's overwhelming. But for somebody like me, I appreciate it so much more.
These are struggles we can all relate to on some level or another, and that's what makes them so great. And the massively impressive visuals and choreographies. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
They're pretty dope too.
Oh, there's behind the scenes. Man, I might have to watch that at some point too. So what's cool about that explanation is it really dove into the meaning of the song and the symbolic visuals that we were seeing, and in a very vague sense touched on BTS and kind of their entire philosophy of a large amount of the songs that I've heard from them in their discography. But yeah, finally, my Blood, Sweat, and Tears virginity has been taken. The song itself, just great visuals, great singing, great rapping, great dancing. What do we know BTS for? All those things. Anyway, guys, annyeong.